It's time.
This is the CSL This Week. Welcome, everybody. I'm Alex Bastiavansky, bringing you all the action from the Canadian Soccer League. On the show today, what else? Highlights from the big games. The first and second division championship finals were held last weekend. We've got all the highlights, plus all the post-game celebrations and comments. Also, CSL insider Phil Iannati will join me here in the studio with his breakdown of the finals. But first, let's get to the highlights. And after 5 months of games, all that remained were two clubs for the title. York Region, cool, methodical, dominant all year. The Shooters recorded the first undefeated regular season in the CSL since 2003, and were looking to complete the double. And Toronto, Croatia, playoff champs 2 of the last 3 seasons, one of the league's hottest teams heading into the playoffs. It was number 1 seed against number 2. The stage was set for a classic, and that's exactly what these teams delivered. The highlights now brought to you by Leica Sports, official sponsor of the Canadian Soccer League.
Croatia fans out in full force for the big game, but you know what? It was just a good crowd all around of York and Croatia supporters. Toronto, the second seed, red hot from mid-July onwards and looking for their 3rd title in 4 years. York Region looking to go wire to wire and keep their undefeated season intact. The first half was all Shooters. Second minute, York leading scorer Richard West with a vicious blast. Screams just over top of the bar. Soon after, solid ball movement by York. Des Humphrey to Oswald Adu, just wide of the far goal post though. York coming oh so close. They just couldn't capitalize though. Then the biggie, Humphrey to West, right on the doorstep here, but a rare miss from in close for the man they call the Flash, and he catches some flack from the ball boy too. He says, you got to put that in, man. Second half though, the script is flipped. All Croatia. Ricky Heron gets whistled for the foul here, so Joseph Karen with the free kick from 27 yards out, and oh, this is oh so close. Emmanuel Hamiltonis just got his fingertips on it to deflect it over. Ensuing corner kick, it's Karen, this time in close, but again stymied by the York keeper, who was just outstanding on this day. Karen took a knock to the head, but he'd be okay. Soon after, off another corner kick, it's guess who? Karen, but again misses the mark just barely. Karen was Croatia's man of the match. 79th minute, free kick from 20 yards out. Oh, goes postal though. Just can't buy one, and Croatia fans starting to get anxious, and then it's Hamiltonis' turn to shine once again. Look at this stop on Pero Manalo. That, folks, is a game saver. That might be the save of the year, in fact. York nearly gets one just before full time. Richard Edwards lays it off for Adrian Pena, but Antonio Ilic not to be outdone with his own game saver. Wow, great goalkeeping in this game. On to extra time we go, and Ilic once again needs to come up huge. This time on Fitzroy Christie. Gorgeous save that was. But finally, in the 110th minute, York Region breakthrough. Richard West, who missed an identical header in the first half, this time makes no mistake. The York fans go nuts. They think they've got it won, but you can't count out Toronto, Croatia, even for a moment. Just 4 minutes left. It's Croatia's turn for the dramatics. Sean Brown, late season pickup from SC Waterloo, comes through in the clutch, and we are off to penalty kick. Seriously, who was writing this script? 90 minutes, solved nothing. 120 minutes, solved nothing. You could cut the tension with a knife at Esther Shiner Stadium. Up first for the Croats, Pero Manalo, and no problem for the Croatian import as he converts. Then for York Region, up first, the veteran Des Humphrey Illich guesses wrong, and it's 1-1. Hayden Fitzwilliams for Toronto, and he makes no mistake. Croatia, perfect so far. Babjid Fadoba for York. The keeper guesses right here, but just misses it, and we are all square. David Velistagi to the spot, and cool as a cucumber as the pressure shifts back to York Region. British import Hector Mackey up next, and he's got no problem slotting it home, and we are all knotted up at 3. Ante Zivkovic, money all year for Croatia. Not this time. Amel Tonis stones him, and the York fans can feel it. They are close. Now the next 2 shooters made it, which meant the keeper had to stop Richard Edwards, or it was all over, and York Region would be your 2014 CSL champions.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the champions of 2014.
York Region Shooters!
Yes, the York Region Shooters, undefeated in 21 games, are crowned champions of the Canadian Soccer League and of Canada. Congratulations to Tony Vidal.
I told you.
Yes,
Woo! My boys did it! My boys did it! Boss lady, get in there! Get in there! Right here! Right here! Right here!
Ladies and gentlemen, let's go lift up your trophy.
That's a real medal.
Ladies and gentlemen, a word of note, the York Region Shooters.
And what an incredible game it was. This will certainly go down as one of the best CSL finals of all time. York's Daryl Gomez, named CSL Coach of the Year, was understandably a happy man.
I mean, it feels great. I mean, a lot of it with the league comes down to the last game, which is the finals, and you know, Croatia, all hats off to them. They put a lot of pressure on us. They played a great game. I mean, they had just as many chances as we did. I'm just happy that we were fortunate enough to come out with a W.
It's a beautiful feeling. I'm feeling great. We accomplished a lot, and we set history. History we have set, and can't complain. It has been a good season, and I only talk to the guys. They pulled through today, and we have to just give God thanks for this today.
We got to take a quick break, but stick around. The CSL this week. We'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back onto the second division final now. And like the first division, there was one team that was the class of the league this year. Kingston FC ran away with the regular season title, losing just once in 16 games. And there's no question they were the heavy favorites against fourth-seeded Waterloo in the final.
But this game proved to be far from easy for the boys from the Limestone City.
The second division final was the appetizer before the first division game, and these teams brought it. SC Waterloo, the 2013 second division champs, looking to hold on to their title. Kingston, this year's regular season winners, looking for the double, and they draw first blood. 18th minute, Simon Schmidtke, unmarked down the right side. He's got all day to stroll in and pick his spot. 1-0 Kingston as their fans celebrate, and all was going to plan, but then Waterloo showed they weren't going anywhere anytime soon. 22nd minute, off the long free kick here, Austin White very nearly knocks it into his own net. He could laugh about it afterwards, but that was close. Moments later, Thomas Sakor does good work here to get the ball inside. He pops to Edward Silly, but his blast ends up deflecting just over top of the crossbar. Waterloo keep on coming. Nice work again by Sakor here with the beautiful cross for Nikola Mjokovic. Just a bit too much on that volley though. Then just before the half, look at Sakor going to work here through the Kingston players. 33 yards out. What a blast that is. Doesn't miss by much. Okay, in the second half though, Kingston, the wind, which was significant, at their back now, and they dominate play. But you know, Stefan Asang would love to have that one back. Oops. Second effort stymied by Jeff Martins. Kingston can't convert. But in the 55th minute, they add the insurance marker. Jimmy Ismail to O'Dane Simpson to Mademba Ba. Oh, that is nice. The second division MVP with 31 goals in the regular season comes through yet again. 2-0 Kingston. And these guys were happy. They nearly add one more in the 89th minute. Ismail on the breakaway, loses control though, and Waterloo ends up clearing the ball away though. No worries. Seconds later, the final whistle goes, and Kingston are your Division II CSL champions. What a season for Kingston FCB. Just one loss the whole year. They were unquestionably the class of the league. Here's goal scorer and 2014 second division MVP, Mademba Ba.
It's a great feeling. It's a great feeling. We've been working hard since before even this season. Since last year, I've been thinking about this. I wanted to come win something finally with the CSL. I already have a regular season championship, so I wanted to get the feeling of winning a championship for the finals. So it's a great feeling to win this.
Well, this is a special day for us at Kingston FC. It's been a long time coming, and I think we got the monkey off our back. We came so close last year in the championship playoff final against Waterloo in the first division and narrowly lost. And we've been thinking about this day now for at least a year, and the time's come, and our guys came through with a fantastic game. And I won't say it was never in doubt, but it was never in doubt. Our guys are really strong, and they put in a fantastic performance. And we wanted this more than anything else in the world, and we went out and got it. And I'm very, very proud of all of our players, our coaches, and everyone associated with Kingston FC today.
We got to take a quick break, but stick around. The CSL this week. We'll be back in just a moment.
Welcome back. Joining me now in the studio is our CSL insider, Phil Iannati, to help break down the big game. Buddy, welcome again to the studio. Second time only this year. Where have you been, for crying out loud?
Busy.
Yeah, busy. Work hard. You were there yesterday.
I was.
That was, you know, sometimes there's so much hype behind these things, and the big game doesn't live up to it. Yesterday's game, I got to say, that lived up to it and exceeded the expectations, didn't it?
Yeah, I've been involved for, I guess, over, 17 years. You know, I think that was one of the top games I've ever seen. And participated in some games that were close, right down to the wire. But this one here, what a great game from beginning to end. A little bit of different strategy from one to the next, but at the end of the day, the shooters were able to pull it off.
Mostly York Region in the first half. Richard West had a few chances, of course, as you'd expect, their top scorer, but lots of chances for York in the first half. Richard West just couldn't break through, could he?
Well, you know what? You're looking at the game. You know, I've had that dissected. I'm looking at Toronto Croatia taking, you know, whoever took the win first half, that played more defensive. You know?
So York was with in the first half.
The win, the win played a little bit of a factor yesterday, Alex. So they were playing tight, and Croatia known to play a little more defensive. They turned around and played really well and gave some opportunities to the shooters. And West had that chance, and it's ironic because when the cross came in, I'm watching how he had the ball. And he might have taken his eyes out for one second. I'm like, he has to work on the header. You know, if you want, you know, those are the moments you got to take. Next thing you know, he scores that goal
in the extra time, which we're going to get to in a second, of course. But you followed up on that, And then, so second half, Croatia wind at their back, and it was, as you mentioned, it was a significant breeze yesterday. Croatia wind at their back, and they were dominant in the second half.
Yeah, second half you saw the two coins of the flip of a coin, and all of a sudden you saw Croatia now creating chance after chance after chance, and it was funny because we were talking about it on the side, saying, chance like this with the win, set play could make a difference. Wow, how many free kicks, how many corner kicks could have gone in, and hats out going to the goalie for the shooters. He made 3 unbelievable
saves. I think one of those might be the save of the year, actually. There were so many standouts in this game. I got to say, for Toronto Croatia, the guy that really stood out for me was Joseph Karen, who just ended up co-winning the Defender of the Year award. He hit the crossbar, and just so solid defensively, but he's also got the offensive kick too, doesn't he?
Yeah, he took a shot in the first half, cracked off the crossbar, hit a free kick, and just quality ability in that man and stepping up. You're picking the moments, and between him and Sven the back, Rancipic, how he stepped up and won every single ball, headers. The defensive part of the game was fantastic on both sides. On the side of York Region shooters, you had left fullback Fitzroy Christie, always stepping up, winning his headers. The enthusiasm of both teams was fantastic to see, and not only the attacking part of it, Alex, but the defensive part was fantastic. The movement, the shifting, the anticipation. You saw a game that had everything. Had the scoring chances, the defensive plays, had the goalie saves. You couldn't ask for much more of a final.
Well, two traditionally strong defensive teams. I mean, this year York Region, we always, in years past on the show, would talk and laugh about just how stingy their defense is. This year, 15 goals in 18 games, which was by far the best in the CSL. I mean, that's just an astounding total, seriously, to be allowed. In the end, penalty kicks, I don't want to gloat. I actually got an email from Juan Barreto today, who was on the show with me last week, with our predictions on the show last week. I said York Region and penalty kicks. Yes, I'm not good, but
you even called it. Hey, look at you.
I called it, man. What can I say?
You're learning finally.
Finally, after all this time, only 13 years. It's a tough way to lose for Croatia, though. But you know what? In the end, what else can you say about York Region? They deserve it. They were just so solid and so consistent all year long, weren't they?
There's the word right there, Alex, is consistency. From the time of the past couple of years, why shooters always had a chance defensively. They were fantastic. They had missing a great goalie in Camilo Benzi, but turned around and had another goalie who played, to be honest with you, was the MVP of the game. So having that kind of depth, having that kind of structure, having guys with experience, they had a fantastic year, and you have to commend them. Daryl Gomez, the coach, quality
First-year
person.
Coach too. Went right from player to coach for York Region.
And again, as a player, he was fantastic. He read the game, understood the game. So he had the boys playing very well. Watching the game, the width of the field, again, how they were structured was very impressive. And it was a good game. Croatia did a great job. Another guy who was coaching the other side, Vele Krejin. You know what? Two good coaches, former players. What a game.
It was a wonderful battle to watch. And Gomez, we should mention, fresh off winning the CSL Coach of the Year award the night before at the awards banquet, which was a good segue to lead me into my next point. The awards did go out. You're seeing them right now. And taking home the big one as well as the MVP and the top scorer, Miran Grgic of London City. Grgic, what a player. 21 goals this year in 18 games. This guy just brings it every year, doesn't he?
I saw him at the beginning of the year when the home opener, I think it was Niagara's home opener, and the guy just has speed, technical ability. And you know what? At the end of the day, Toronto Croatia, they lost two big players in Grgic and Maletic. And that could be a difference in the future. Having those players, that all of a sudden you have to replace. It's not easy because those guys are top tier players. Losing that guy who scores 21 goals. Says a lot, right? So London City, having that guy under their wraps, hopefully they can secure him again for next year.
It'd be interesting to see that because, of course, they got Soro at the transfer deadline. If they keep Soro next year and Grgic, that 1-2 punch is going to be unstoppable. We'd be remiss if we didn't mention, of course, that second division champions Kingston FC. Congratulations to them. Great for Lauren Abagov and that whole organization. After the disappointment of losing the first division final last season, they pick up the second division title.
Yeah, they had a fantastic year, you know, all around from first team to second team. They run a great organization.
Yeah.
You know, Lauren is passionate, you know, and that's half the battle. Having that passion, that commitment, that loyalty.
And he has a vision too for how he wants things done, which is what we need.
And he's growing. He's going to have the full structure. He's talked to me personally about how do we have the full top to bottom pyramid of play that helps kids. And you know what? He has the right idea. It's people like that who put that kind of energy into the game and give it back will succeed.
He might have had a little tear in his eye when I was interviewing him after the game. It was pretty cool to see. He really, the passion is evidently there. And just a quick mention as well, MVP of the second division, Madame Baba, 31 goals in 16 games. And of course, he was a frequent call-up to the first division team. Congratulations to Kingston. Anyway, Phil, thank you for being here. Thanks for the breakdown. We're going to have you on the show next week, where we're going to do a full recap of the first division season and all the teams and how they did. So looking forward to having you back next week, buddy.
Awesome. Great to see you.
CSL this week will be back in just a moment.
Before we go, a look at our Olympic trophies play of the week, and it's got to be Emmanuel Hamiltonis from the York Region Shooters. This is your game saver, your season saver, whatever you want to call it, off Pedro Manalo. That is just stunning. There's no other way to put it. This was in extra time. With this save, York Region survived to make it through to the penalty kicks, where, of course, they captured the CSL championship. Emmanuel Hamiltonis, certainly worthy our Olympic trophies play of the week.
And that's all the time we've got for this week. Just remember, though, for a full recap of the final games, plus the 2014 CSL award winners, head to CanadianSoccerLeague.ca. And you can also hit the league up on Twitter at CSL_soccer. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week when we do our 2014 Canadian Soccer League season review.